Blessed greetings each and everyone. This is Servant David again. Yeah? Well, this one here is called Part 9 of Getting to Know Servant David. So for those of you who know or who have been following me, there's parts to the Q's and A's that I do. Like Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, etc. So this here is Part 9. If this may be the first one you're seeing, you ask me questions in this one here, and I answer the questions in Part 10. So these questions here that I'm answering in this one here are actually from Part 8, right? And a few others too, because I often go back to the older ones, like say Part 2, and look to see if any new questions have arisen. I also get questions from my Facebook page, and stuff like that. So we're gonna jump right into it. We ain't gonna delay, yeah? For the first question for Servant David, if I had $1 million to donate to donate, who would I donate it to? I would take half of that million and donate it to AIDS research. The other half, I would seriously think about it, but at this point in time, I would give it to YouTube. I would invest in it in YouTube somehow. Not necessarily for gain for me, but to help it grow. Yeah? And to help where others can help to grow. What's the best advice anyone has ever given to me? The best advice anyone has ever given to me was to turn my life over to Jesus Christ and serve God wholeheartedly. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I would tell my 18-year-old self, if you know what God has in store for you right now, you would change your ways and start serving Him now. How did or does COVID handle me? It doesn't, and it didn't. I handle COVID. Coronavirus needs to be aware of me, because I know who's within me. At the same time, I'm wise. I wear my mask, I wear my gloves when need be. And I don't really have to change much, because most of the changing that I did have to do, as far as like keeping distances and stuff like that and being more careful, happened to me almost 18 months ago when I got let's say a third or a fourth chance at life. That is many times that I probably wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the grace of God. Does YouTube put me on a strain with God? I'm assuming you mean like, does YouTube draw me away from serving God more? I would have to honestly say no. Nah. And if nothing can take me from God. And if you watch my thing and you follow me, you already know. And if you know me in person, even more reason why you would know. In fact, it strengthens me, because I'm here to do God's work. So no, it doesn't put a strain on me. God is the one who opened the door for me to be able to use this YouTube platform. When did I last read the Bible? I don't really read the Bible too much because I keep most of the word within me. But if I ever have to use the word or go into the word is always at my fingertips, because I have the Bible on my phone. And not only that, but this here where you see me in my car is like my man cave. And my Bible stays with me. And I stay in my car most of the time, as most of you know. That's my Bible on my dashboard. Alright? So, I'm constantly reading the Bible because I'm constantly saying something pertaining to the Bible. Maybe in different words. Because I speak truth. Have I ever thought of suicide? Of course. Whoever hasn't, or whoever says they haven't thought about suicide, they're lying. I've thought about suicide. I've even talked about suicide. Matter of fact, we're talking about suicide right now. You know, we're talking about it right now as we speak. So I've thought about it, but I know better. I've talked about it, but I know better to actually go do it. Because I know where I want to go. And I know in order to get there, that's the one sin that you can't repent from. I could never do myself harm or put myself in the way purposely of harm. Am I a real Christian? Again, for those of you who know me, you already know. And for those of you who don't know me, you know that I am different than the average human being. I respond, think, and act different. Although I may be similar sometimes. So when you ask me if I'm a real Christian, nah, I'm not. I'm not a real Christian. I would rather say I'm a Christian that's real. A real Christian is someone who dresses up and goes to church on Sunday, and before they even leave the parking lot that Sunday morning after service, they're back doing worldly things, or during the week they're doing worldly things, and they act so this and that in front of people. But behind closed doors or behind certain curtains with other people, they show their real colors on how they are. That's a real Christian. They act like they don't cuss sometime and all those things. Like they're not human. Well, I'm human. So I act and move kind of like a human. You get me? So no, I'm not a real Christian, but I'm a Christian that's real. A Christian that's real is someone who is human and falls at times. But the greatest part about them is that they get back up. I'm a Christian who, and I don't even say I'm a Christian, I'm just saying Christian because people call me a Christian. I don't profess myself to be a Christian. I do profess myself to be a servant of God. But my actions to others will say, oh, he's a Christian. Or he's a pastor. I get that a lot. Are you a pastor? No, I'm not a pastor. And I don't want to be, because I'm too honest to be a pastor. So yeah, a Christian that is real is someone who falls but gets back up at times. Someone who is not perfect and not afraid to say they're not perfect. Recognize and say they're not perfect. Yeah? How many vids do I have? Well, that would depend if you're talking about period, all over, or if you're talking about YouTube. On YouTube, I have about 224, 25, 26, something like that. How many vids have I ever done? I don't know. I've done so many. I've been on TV. I've been on stage show with certain artists. To name a few, Adrian Cunningham, Shaba, Mavado, Nesbeth, Chosen, a lot. Judith Gale, a lot, but it's not about that, you know. So I'm sure cameras were rolling and stuff like that. So there's a lot of it with me in it. How do I feel about being able to go live? Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Finally, we feel good. Yeah. You asked me, am I on YouTube for money? Nope. I'm on YouTube to spread health awareness. Give some people what they want as far as comedy, music. And most of my music is done through, it has something with going through health awareness. And if I can spread the love of God, then I do that. What's my Facebook name? Franklin Ferrigon. Franklyn. Ferrigon. I've made a vow and a promise to God that for 2020, unless I know the person, I will not be accepting any Facebook friend requests. So unless I know you, or you send me a message saying you saw this on YouTube and you're requesting friend or whatever, I'm not gonna accept you if you just hit friend request. Send me a message first. Unless I know you, then you just go ahead. I'll see you and I'll accept. Why don't I visit my brother in jail? My brother did something that he shouldn't have done. And he did that thing because he was on drugs that he chose to take. And I warned him and I warned him. And he didn't listen. Furthermore, I don't like the occupation of police, warden, or any of those things. Not that I don't like the people, the occupation, because once they take on that occupation, that job, they take advantage of it and abuse it. So that's why I don't visit him in jail. But I will write, I talk to him on the phone, and I will send him even a couple dollars if I can do that. Furthermore, I put away a little bit of money, whether it be $1 here or some change there, some pennies here. I put all of that away so that when he does come, like each time I get some money, I put something in that jar. And it's a pretty big jar, you know, a big water jar. So that when he gets out, he can get that money. I figure, yes, he may need money in there while he's in jail, but he's gonna need some when he comes out as well. How do I find peace and happiness within myself by leaning on the Lord who is within me, by trusting in God, and by also not changing so that people will like me, but from being myself so the real people will love me. Well, that's it for part 9 of Getting to Know Servant David. Feel free to, in the comments below, drop your questions, and I promise to get back to you as soon as possible. But remember, look out for those answers in part 10. And if you want to get to know me some more, go back and check out the other parts. Trust me, I doubt you'll be disappointed. Until next time, Servant David say as always, love, manners, and elevation.